Alright, you lot. Ubisoft just sold off solar gaming to Tencent and dressed it up like a power move. And if you think this ends with more content and better games, you're about to get Ubisofted. Again. Listen to Whinge. It's a digital nuclear fucking explosion. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. They're not franchises anymore. They're assets being carved up like a corpse at a shareholder banquet. And while devs are stuck duct taping buggy builds and live service nightmares together, Tencent's laughing all the way to the bank. This, right here, it's moment Ubisoft stopped pretending to care and showed us corporate hellscape behind curtain. Let's rip this thing apart before they announce Assassin's Creed Crypto Brotherhood Edition. Strap in, because by the end of this, you won't just be angry, you'll be ready for war. Ubisoft's press release reads like it was ghostwritten by a malfunctioning LinkedIn algorithm. We're excited to announce a strategic partnership with Tencent. Oh, really? That's one way to say we just handed over Assassin's Creed, Far Cry and Rainbow Six to the world's most predatory gaming empire in exchange for a financial life raft. Let's be clear, this isn't a partnership. It's hostile cuddle. Tencent didn't stroll in with good intentions and a fruit basket. They dropped 1.16 billion euros and said, cheers lads, we'll take your IPs, your data and slice of your future, ta very much. Ubisoft gets to pretend they're still calling shots. But when Tencent has exclusive, irrevocable, perpetual rights to your biggest franchises, mate, you're not CEO anymore. You're intern with a parking pass. And all this while they're screaming about creative autonomy. What a lot of bollocks! Tencent has about as much interest in creative freedom as Activision has in game balance. You know what Tencent's interested in? Monetisation pipelines, user engagement funnels, and data extraction systems that make your personal info look like loot. This isn't about games. It's about turning IP into franchise factories, where player experience is just another metric in a monetisation spreadsheet. And worst part, this Trojan horse is going to work, because most people are too busy buying battle passes to notice the favourite franchises are being surgically dismantled in real time. Look at Assassin's Creed, or what's left of it after a decade of Ubisoft turning stealth gameplay into checklist simulators with loot tables. Once upon a time, this were about hooded killers in ancient cities, stalking targets through shadows. Nah, it's about shoving 200 hours of side quests into a world so bloated it feels like Skyrim overdosed on microtransactions and forgot its own plot. And now they've handed keys to Tencent, a company whose business model is basically, how can we turn this into a mobile gacha nightmare? Let's be brutally honest. Assassin's Creed Shadows is already shaping up to be gaming equivalent to a subscription-based timeshare scam. You don't own game, you lease access to an IP that used to mean something, and when it finally flops, you can bet your hidden blade they'll blame player fatigue instead of their own creative bankruptcy. Truth is, Assassin's Creed ain't evolving. It's mutating into a live service parasite wrapped in nostalgia, feeding off your memories while bleeding your wallet. And Ubisoft? They're fine with that, because now they don't answer to players, they answer to shareholders in Shenzhen. Rainbow Six Siege used to be a tactical FPS masterpiece. Tight maps, precise gunplay, actual teamwork. Now it's a monetised Frankenstein's monster, stitched together with battle passes, broken metas, and operators so bloated with abilities to make Overwatch look minimalist. And now comes Siege X, final form of Ubisoft's free-to-play fever dream. But don't be fooled, Siege X isn't for community, it's for quarterly earnings report. They've repackaged Siege under a new name to dodge reputation damage they inflicted on original, justify ripping out what little purity were left, and most importantly, monetise ever-living shit out of it. Think this is about accessibility? Nah. This is about player funneling, cosmetic monetisation, and Tencent's favourite word, engagement. And let's not forget Golden Line from press release. Expanded multiplayer offerings, free-to-play touchpoints. Translation? Lootboxes in disguise, storefront first UI, weapon skins that cost more than your GPU, and a rank system designed to manipulate dopamine, not measure skill. Siege were once about tension, precision, and strategy. Siege X is about flashing lights, rotating shots, and dopamine treadmill built by accountants. You want proof? Just watch what happens first week Siege X launches. Streamers with early access codes screaming, "This is new era!" A mountain of cosmetics, servers melting, bugs returning from 2017 like it's a reunion tour. And then, silence. Because no one's actually excited. They're just addicted. And Ubisoft knows it. And then there's Far Cry, Ubisoft's golden goose turned lab experiment. Once a sandbox of chaos, now a factory line of forgettable villains, recycled outposts, and side quests that feel like unpaid internships. And now with Tencent in passenger seat, strap in, because Far Cry is about to go full theme park mode. They're not making a game, they're building a content treadmill, and your controller's just hamster wheel. Increased frequency of content release? Translation? Story packs with no story. Seasonal events that last longer than main campaign. Currency systems more complicated than crypto trading. New game modes that are just recycled mechanics from other Ubisoft titles they couldn't sell. And you know it's coming. Far Cry Battle Royale. Drop in, loot up, shoot enemies wearing neon gorilla suits, and try not to vomit from sheer desperation of it all. Far Cry used to be about player freedom. Now, it's about how many hours they can keep you logged in to hit their engagement targets. You want to know how far we've fallen? They'll announce Far Cry 7 with a flashy trailer. It'll show explosions, a vaguely political villain, and dramatic jungle shots. People will get hyped. But when it launches, you'll be 5 minutes in and it'll pop up for premium outpost packs. Your minimap will look like it has measles. And every mission will be liberate this base for 40th fucking time. Ubisoft and Tencent aren't interested in Far Cry's legacy. They're interested in turning it into a live service farm, where every gun has a rarity tier, every outpost has a timer, and every player is just another stat to sell advertisers. Now I want to touch on XDefiant, Ubisoft's unintentional middle finger to their own business model. This game had no right to be good. It was thrown together with spare parts from abandoned IPs, shoved outdoor half finished, and yet somehow, it played like a proper no-bollocks arcade shooter. No SBMM, no bloated monetization, just gunplay, maps, and faint echo of fun. So what did Ubisoft do? They buried it, delayed it, broke it, then delayed it again. Because a game that don't funnel players into a battle pass addiction spiral, that's bad for business, mate. But here's where things get real spicy. Tencent now holds a fat stake in Ubisoft's new spin-off studio, and that means if they really want a Call of Duty killer to milk, they've already got one sitting on ice. XDefiant could be resurrected, not because Ubisoft suddenly grew a conscience, don't be daft, because Tencent loves a revenue stream that can scale, skin, and sell to mobile players in 17 languages. If Tencent says, ship it, Ubisoft will bend faster than an influencer with a Raid Shadow Legends deal. And let's not pretend it'll be pure. XDefiant 2.0 would come with a cross-progression battle pass, operator bundles priced like Rent, ranked modes locked behind engagement tiers, an eventual crossover with Just Dance cosmetics cause no sacred anymore. But even with all that shite tacked on, it might still be fun. Cause core, gunplay, it's already better than old Call of Duty's pumped out since Warzone melted its last remaining brain cell. And irony? Ubisoft accidentally built something players liked, didn't know what to do with it, and now Tencent might be one to say, you know what, let's exploit this properly. This, right here, it's truth most gamers still don't want to face. You're not audience, you're data point, your engagement stat, your walking talking wallet being optimised for conversion. Ubisoft's deal with Tencent isn't about games, it's about control. Here's what this strategic partnership actually means. Tencent now owns a chunk of Ubisoft's soul via perpetual IP rights. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. They're not franchises, they're engagement funnels. New Ubisoft entity, built to scale content and extract value, not to create quality. Ubisoft ain't making experiences anymore, they're manufacturing content loops designed to keep you playing long enough to buy something. You think you're playing a game? Nah mate, you're inside a fucking revenue simulator. And here's kicker, this isn't unique to Ubisoft, it's AAA blueprint. Activision built Warzone to study your dopamine patterns. EA tried to charge you for single player armor colours. Rockstar still selling shark cards in a game older than TikTok. And now Ubisoft just fast-tracked process by giving Tencent a front row seat and keys to cash register. You don't get choices anymore. You get packages, starter bundles, premium editions, founder packs. Hell, even your time's for sale. Can't grind 80 hours for a cloak? That's fine. Just pay us $9.99 and skip fun. And when games fail, they don't care. 'Cause game were never product. You were. And only thing they care about is how long you can be farmed before you burn out and leave. At which point, some fresh new seasonal trailer is already lined up to drag you back in. AAA gaming is now casino architecture. It's not about joy, wonder, or even competition. It's about frictionless monetization, emotional triggers, and engagement curves designed by psychologists, not game designers. Tencent didn't buy into Ubisoft to save your franchises. They bought into Scaled Farm, and you, my friend, at Livestock. But it's truth bomb they don't want detonated. You're not powerless. They think you'll keep logging in. They think you'll keep pre-ordering. They think you'll shrug, sigh and swipe your card for next season pass like it's a tax on your childhood. But here's twist. Every broken live service game, every failed cash grab sequel, every Ubisoft restructuring, that's you, bought in with your time, your voice, your wallet. You want proof this fight matters? Look at Battlefield 2042. Look at Babylon's Fall. Look at every NFT project that got laughed off internet before it could even scam a second breath. Players still have power, but it takes spine. It takes calling out lies when even your favourite franchise is on chopping block. It means not defending bullshit just cause it's wrapped in nostalgia. So what do? We don't settle for Siege X just cause it's free. We don't praise Assassin's Creed Shadows just cause parkour works this time. We don't act like Far Cry Live Service Edition is a new direction. It's a corporate rerun. And XDefiant? If it comes back, we don't just hope, we hold them accountable. No SBMM bait and switch, no pay-to-win relaunch, no we'll listen to feedback lies unless it's backed by action. Because this is line now. This is moment. Tencent's deal with Ubisoft is a warning shot. And if we just stand here watching fire spread, then we were never players. We were just consumers, quietly applauding our own exploitation. But me? I'm not clapping. I'm loading next video. Join Discord, follow on X, check out channel memberships. All links are in the description. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave your comments and questions below. Might just feature them on channel. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.